Nekusar the Mindrazer versus Thassa, God of the Sea. Don't really like that, to be honest. We need to get into ramp in this deck. We need to get into lands too, believe it or not. Oh geez, alright, let's just keep that. And let's get rid of... well, certainly get rid of that. Molten Psyche could be of some use to us if we get into another blue, so we'll get rid of Sigil of Sleep. Then we're on Swamp, Mana Crypt, Signet, and keep our fingers crossed for a land next turn, because that would take us into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana into our commander. Our opponent has fast mana as well, so I don't feel too bad. That is a mana drain which we can't do anything with. So we'll have to feed our opponent some cards with Spiteful Visions. Looks like this might be a fast game if one of us keeps taking hits from the Mana Crypt as well as the Spiteful Visions. They do not counter it. They do take a Lightning Bolt hit though, and they're going to take even more damage from the Spiteful Visions here. Now it is a Field of Ruin from our opponent. They can afford that, but we'll still get a basic, so blowing up a basic for a basic doesn't really seem like it's something our opponent would want to do. And we get into an island. We can still hold up mana drain in that case, but it's probably a red source we want. And we get dealt damage for the cards drawn as well. So let's throw out an island. And I think we just want to go mana drain on their commander, but yeah, just one more land and they can just replay the commander again, so that would be a tempo play more than anything. Fevered Visions is... yeah, we'll go Fevered Visions here, because I don't think countering their commander really does anything. We just want to try and outrace them and pile on as much damage as possible. With Fevered Visions, at the beginning of each player's end step, they draw a card. And if that player is your opponent and has 4 or more cards in hand, it deals 2 damage to that player. There is a fact or fiction going on now. You can have Vendilion Click and an island, or you can have Spark Double and Search For as counter. I mean, I don't care what you take out of our hand, to be honest, so yeah. Take the Vendilion Click and a couple of lands. That was at the end of our turn, so their turn begins now. They decide to scoop? How very strange. Why would you scoop there? You've got 9 cards in hand and a bunch of mana. It's only turn 3. It's not like we had an unfair advantage there. We're both drawing the same number of cards. We've both got Mana Crypts. At least try, surely. What were we drawing into? There's that red mana, so we could have gone in for Molten Psyche. That probably would have been... yeah, tap down the Mana Crypt, put 1 into there. Then we've got 2 red, a blue, and a floating colourless. So we use everything except the blue. If they go to counter the Molten Psyche, then we counter with Mana Drain. So yeah, we were probably going to get that off. And what is that? Each player shuffles the cards from their hand into their library and draws that many. Yeah, so we weren't going to go up any, but we were going to force our opponent to draw a fresh 9, which would have been an extra 9 points of damage to them. And then this would have dealt damage to them at the end of the turn, obviously. Anyway, that was a really, really fast one, so let's try again. Nekusar the Mindrazer versus Azusa Lost but Seeking. Couldn't really ask for a worse commander to come up against. Let's keep that. I'm just going to hope that the Ponder reveals something incredible off the top. Okay, well there's the Spiteful Visions and the Fevered Visions again. So let's go land, Spiteful and Fevered. And actually, do we want to... we want to try and keep up with ramp on our opponent, don't we? Yeah, I'm actually going to shuffle there. and try and get into some ramp. Well, there's a Lightning Greaves, that's not the worst. Yeah, feeding my opponent cards when they've got a heap of mana. There's an Ancient Tomb, no doubt they've got a forest in hand to get down Azusa next turn. Yeah, we'll just get down the Lightning Greaves here. And they do not have a forest, they go for Horn of Greed, which is good card draw for us, not as good as it is for our opponent, but if they don't have a forest, I would be tempted to... Yeah, we'll just go Coalition Relic here. See what we draw into. It is another land. So we'll just go like that, tap that down with a charge counter on it, so we can definitely get down our commander next turn. Fingers crossed they don't have a forest in hand. I have never known Azusa to come down as slowly as this. There is a Dust Bowl. They can sack a land if they want to. Nope, just animating the Mishra's factory. There's nothing else for them to do, so that's fine. What do we want here? Let's just grab red. And we can go in for our commander. That is... Yeah, I'm just seeing if I can get down the tap land, but we'll go Reflecting Pool. Okay, Incendiary Command can get rid of their commander, but problem with Azusa is once she's come down and the extra lands have been played, that's the that's the damage done with Azusa. Unless they've got more lands in play and they can't get them all out on one turn. Put Shroud and Haste on our commander and swing him. More card draw means that they are more likely to get into the green mana that they're struggling with. And there is that land, so let's see what occurs here. They go Eldrazi Temple, of course. It's always Eldrazi with Azusa. I don't think I've ever seen a creative Azusa deck. They just seem to be the Eldrazi ones all the time. And they're going for another forest, and they're casting something here, maybe an Oracle. Yeah, Oracle of Muldiah, with a land on the top, which they play, revealing another land. They've probably got like 45 lands in this deck, so it's no wonder that they have lots of lands on top. I think we're okay to go for Time Twister at this point. Oh, and I completely forgot we're at the cleanup step now. I thought I had a stop on the M step, but clearly not. Completely forgot about the Coalition Relic. That's my mistake. Yeah, no point in doing that now. Okay, so, missing a mana. That's not good. Let's just go Underground Sea. We will draw another card. And it is Sigil of Sleep, which... Oh, we've got Shroud on our commander. Yeah, Sigil of Sleep into a wheel would have been good. We could go 3 into a Chromatic Lantern and then Time Twister. This is destroy a land. 4 damage to a player or planeswalker. 2 damage to each creature. We could go for that and blow up the Eldrazi Temple. I think I'm going to go for a Brainstorm. Alright, there's a Time Spiral. There's the Underworld Dreams again. Let's put the Memory Jar and Smouldering Marsh on top. And I think we go Chromatic Lantern into a Time Twister. And just hope that our opponent's got something good in hand. The faster we go with this deck, the better. So we've got every chance of drawing into the same stuff again. And that's where we're being punished for not having the floating mana from the Coalition Relic. We do have Whelming Wave though, although that is... yeah, that can bounce Eldrazi. Let's swing in with our commander as well. We get back into the Incendiary Command as well. And we've got Windfall also. As well as the Kedirect Parasite, which will trigger when our commander is in play, because our commander's red. So that'll be twice as much damage. They go for a Dryad Arbor. Okay, but they're deciding to gang up with everything. Alright, so what do we want to kill off here? You can keep your Azusa. We'll get rid of the... okay, there's an All Is Dust as well. Yeah. Didn't think about that, so shouldn't have swung in there. That might set us back a bit too much. So we'll see if the Eldrazi comes out now. Of course they've got Worldly Tutor. See what they grab with Worldly Tutor. Probably an Eldrazi. No, it is a Primeval Titan, so still trying to set up. We can go for our commander next turn into Winds of Change. They're still going to draw cards. I don't think this is... That player draws a card. Yeah, if they want to keep playing lands, they have to draw cards with the Horn of Greed. This won't trigger on Primeval Titan, but it will trigger on the multiple land drops they make a turn from Azusa. Just fingers crossed we don't see a Dust Bowl here. Playing lots of lands. Alright, they go for Titania and not the Primeval Titan, probably so they can hold up Dust Bowl. I'm just going to continue to keep my fingers crossed that they can't grab the Dust Bowl. They've still got enough for prime time, so they might go for that. Especially if they want to try and outrace a wheel. They are down to 6, so if we can go for our commander into Winds of Change, we win next turn, assuming that our commander stays in play. Now a Mana Crypt, so... yeah, this is exactly why I don't want to feed my opponent a bunch of cards. And hopefully we don't get stuff exiled here with an Eldrazi. Okay, Emrakul probably spells the end. They take control of our next turn. Hitting us with Azusa. Now let's see what they do here. We do get another turn after Emrakul has taken our turn for us. I don't know what playing our commander does for them. They'll only have 1 mana left after that. They could go for a wheel and hope to get into no wheels. But we've got a lot of wheels in this deck. Swinging in with our commander might be our downfall here. Didn't think about a Dryad Arbor coming out. That was a good play by our opponent. They're playing something. Okay, going for the Nekusar. And then haste, swing in. And block it with Emrakul. So unless we get into a Mana Crypt ourselves, that's probably us out of the game. Still got options though. We do have means of dealing damage to our opponent without the commander. So we'll see what we can get into. And they can discard something at the end of our turn as well. It's a tricky one because if we get into draw pain, then Windfall will kill them. Unlike Winds of Change, which only cares about the number of cards you discarded. So we'd only deal 4 damage to them. But Winds of Change is less mana for us to get into more stuff. So I don't know what they do here. They decide on Incendiary Command. Probably, yeah, that probably makes sense because we can do 4 damage to them directly. Oh, but we get into Spiteful Visions. So that is probably game, I think. Drop a land. We draw a card from the Horn of Greed. And we get into fast mana as well, yeah. That is definitely us winning this one. So we actually don't have the win if we're going for our commander here. Because Winds of Change doesn't kill them, like I said, but what they don't know is that we have the Spiteful Visions. So all we do is go for that. Oh, they've actually put our commander in the graveyard. That was very well played, yeah. I just assumed that was in the command zone, but it isn't. We'll have a look and see what's on top of our library. What we would have been able to find with Ponder had we not have gone for the Spiteful Vision straight away. See if there's any Pain Draw in the top 3 that we could have found with Ponder. There isn't, so we were just really lucky to get into the Spiteful Visions there. We're nowhere close to anything. Why did that not kill our opponent? The greatest number of cards. Each player discards their hand and draws equal to the greatest number of cards discarded this way. We had like 1 million cards, didn't we? Alright, well, anyway, clearly I have miscounted there, but we've got Geist Blast anyway. Another lucky draw. Geist Blast actually isn't in here to deal damage to our opponent, it's in here for the exile it from the graveyard and copy an instant or sorcery. So we get double wheels. Yeah, I clearly miscounted there. I thought we had our opponent off of the windfall. But we take them down to -1. Yeah, our opponent seemed confused by that as well. Yeah, I'll obviously have a look at that during the edit and see what occurred there. I'm just assuming that I miscalculated. Luckily we got into the Geist Blast to take them down the last few points. I made a couple of errors there. One in the windfall at the end, and one in swinging in with Nekusar. Apparently there was no need to do that. We didn't get any extra damage on them, and we actually lost our commander. And as we saw here, losing your commander in this deck is potentially game losing if you don't have more draw pain effects, such as Spiteful Visions. But managed to survive mass ramp from Azusa as well as an Emrakul turn, so I think that's just as good a game to end on as any. Hopefully you all enjoyed this one. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this game, and if you want to help support the channel and help to tell YouTube to push it up to other people, and hopefully we can get more viewers on the channel and grow even bigger than we are now. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.